Kylian Mbappe's incredible journey is nothing short of a fairy tale every football fan wants to feel every single day. Starting from a small town, he tiptoed into the Champions League with AS Monaco, then bagged a massive $180 million deal with Paris Saint-Germain, while only being 18 years old. But the best for probably the best player in the world, ladies and gentlemen, is still yet to come, as Mpabbe finally signs the contract with Real Madrid until 2029. The wait and the twist all this time during Mbappe's saga is now finally over. What's impressive is that Mpabbe always knew he was destined for greatness. Even as a 6-year-old, he sang the French anthem, dreaming of playing for his country. I'm sure we all can relate to this. In a school project, he imagined himself on the cover of Time magazine, declaring himself the world's best young player. And it brings shivers to the spine when you see it happening. Despite leaving PSG at the end of the season, Mpabbe has been nothing short of world-class, netting 21 times in just 20 games across all competitions, providing 5 assists along the way, making him as horrifying as an attacker can possibly be. But all this time, the real question that arises is, why has Real Madrid been so obsessed with the Frenchman? It's no hidden truth that Real Madrid has almost always been the best club in the world. To be the best in the business, you have to have the best players in the world. Mpabbe not only fits the profile, he has that Madridista DNA. A boy who dreamt of playing in the Bernabeu, someone who idolized Madrid's greatest player ever, someone who totally aligns with the kind of personality that Real Madrid loves to have. Not only that, even tactically, Real Madrid has a recent history of pacey, flashy, and direct passing counterattacks, which makes the case for Mpabbe being the absolute sweetheart for Madrid. Mpabbe plays on the left wing just like his idol, lightning fast, insanely good with the ball at his feet, tricky like a Brazilian, and possibly the most exquisite finisher in the world. It doesn't just end there. He can also play as a striker, dropping deep and providing either link-ups or through balls. His playmaking abilities are world-class, just like he has been. But his best comes when he is playing as a center forward, which has been his position for almost 70% across past 3 seasons, followed by left wing for about 26%. Let's talk about the business now. Mpabbe is a megastar both on and off the pitch. There is absolutely no denial that Mpabbe can potentially break the most insane records that have been made. If he can reach the final of UCL with PSG, there's no doubt that he can win it all with Los Blancos. He has always stepped up at the grandest of stages, the times when it mattered the most, not to ignore the leadership quality as well. And guess what Real Madrid love? If you still doubt it, then well, let's rewind to the World Cup. It was the locker room at Lusail Stadium. Didier Deschamps, the boss of France, wasn't holding back. France was 2-0 down to Argentina in the 2022 World Cup final, and Deschamps unleashed a burst of fury, telling the players, "You're not there! They're playing in a F***ing final and we're not." As some players sat in silence, Kylian Mpabbe stood up. In a burst of passion, he shouted, "It's a World Cup final, the match of a lifetime! We can't do worse than we did in the first half. This is every 4 years." World knows what came later. The miracle unfolded in Doha. As time ticked away, Mpabbe converted a penalty, narrowing the gap. Then, a mere 97 seconds later, he unleashed a powerful volley, equalizing the score. In those intense moments, Mpabbe, burdened with glorious purpose, turned the World Cup final into a breathtaking spectacle of skill and determination. A young man with a mission, another calm penalty to level the score at 3. 3 after Argentina briefly took the lead in extra time. While it was ultimately Messi's night in tournament, the grand finale of all grand finales, it also solidified the fact that Mpabbe was his rightful successor. No questions asked. Within 6 months, Messi said goodbye to European football, leaving Paris Saint-Germain for Inter Miami. With Messi in Major League Soccer and Ronaldo in the Saudi Pro League, it felt like a changing of the guard. Many football legends left Europe this summer, and we are entering a new era, Mpabbe said in a GQ interview. Could it be the Mpabbe era? He certainly thinks so, especially now that a move to Madrid is officially done. With 243 goals and 290 appearances for PSG, clinching 5 League One titles on top of the one at Monaco, Mpabbe has always felt like a player biding his time to fulfill his destiny on the grandest stage in club football. Real Madrid could be the platform where he achieves just that last missing piece. He's worthy enough for being a Galactico. With Jude Bellingham and his feet touching the sky, add to that the absolute world-class duo of Rodrigo and Vinny Jr. This could potentially become the most feared side since 2018 three-peat winners. It's not even over yet. We haven't even mentioned the likes of Valverde, Camavinga, Kroos, Arda Güler, Endrick, Tchouaméni, Brahim Diaz, and the list keeps going on and on. With Alphonso Davies being another one on Madrid radar, it seems we are about to see yet another super team of Galacticos. As Modric is set to leave at the end of the season, the only regret Mpabbe will have is not playing with one of the greatest midfielders of all time. But we hope to see him alongside Kroos. Now here comes the twist. You would be shocked to hear that this is not the first time Mpabbe is playing for Real Madrid. In December of 2012, the night before he turned 14, Mpabbe got an invite to try out for Real Madrid. At the time, he was already training at Clairefontaine, a top French football school, and catching the eye of clubs in France and even Chelsea. When Chelsea suggested a second trial, Mbappe's mom, Faiza Lamari, wasn't having it. She basically said, if you want him, sign him now. In 5 years, it'll cost you £50 million. Well, she was wrong because he was not worth $50 million. In fact, he was 3 times the price she asked for. It seems Chelsea misses out on possibly the best players, De Bruyne, Mo Salah, and Mbappe. No wonder why they are so consistent. But the Real Madrid trip was special. When Mbappe and his parents arrived, they were greeted by none other than Zinedine Zidane. During a tour of the training complex, Mbappe met Ronaldo, his hero. In his book, Mbappe also hinted that Zidane might have taken this very photo. The era of Messi and Ronaldo draws to a close. The looming absence of these football legends in the upcoming World Cup, and the obvious question that rises is, who will emerge as the next GOAT? So, as the torch passes, who will be the next footballing legend to claim the coveted GOAT status? The competition between these players, their record-breaking pursuits, and the desire to outshine one another have elevated football to new heights. But there's something about him that people are missing out on when it comes to Mbappe. It is him being in the debate of the greatest of all time. Won the World Cup at 19, then a World Cup final hat trick in the next one. It only seems that the stars indicate that Kylian Mbappe is the next greatest player. There's a certain aspect that he can beat almost everyone to be on the same podium as Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo, or Pele. Quite shockingly, Mbappe, at the age of 25, has more goals and assists than both Messi and Ronaldo did at the same age. While the comparison is a bit vague, since Ronaldo was a midfielder in his starting days, but it gives you an idea of how good Mbappe really is. Not only that, Mbappe did something only 2 players have ever managed to do. That is scoring a hat trick in the World Cup final. But then you realize he also scored in the preceding final, where France won against Croatia 4-2, which makes him the player with most goals in a World Cup final. With 44 goals in 68 games in Champions League, he has never failed to make his mark even at the club level. After PSG's convincing 2-0 win against Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, coach Luis Enrique left no doubt in stating Kylian Mbappe is the best player in the world. The coach also highlighted Mbappe's exceptional leadership. Concerns about Mbappe mostly revolved around his attitude. His confident and driven nature, coupled with boundless energy, comes as a challenging trait. His mother, a coordinator in the local authority's recreation department, was frequently called to school. While upset about his misbehavior, she consistently reminded teachers that he was special, not just a troublemaker. No matter the criticisms, Mbappe remained certain that recognition would come, even in the face of warnings that he needed to change. No matter the amount of ego, he brings in the amount of quality that would make him the case for being the best of his generation. Probably one of the best of all time. It's heavenly news to Madrid fans and just as scary for the rest of the football world. As Mbappe finally steps onto the Bernabeu, world isn't ready for possibly the scariest attack of this generation. But hey, subscribe because there is a lot more to come, as we will bring on to you the story of this Turkish wonder kid coming up next.